Now, during that segment, you guys will notice we got a couple of donations in there. We already talked about Jared Taylor, but can we shout out Steve Kondrick? Everything I learned from movies. Can we please shout out that $100 donation, which officially pushed us over the $4,000 mark, and he made that donation. Take a shot, Drew. So, Drew Hallam, get your beautiful ass in here. It's time for more hashtag Moonshine for Drew. And, guys, you know what time it is, right? He's already ready. That's got to be him already, right? Hang on. Oh, yeah. That's him. That's already him.
I'm here.
He already knows. But, ladies and gentlemen, since we hit $4,000, that means it's also the next stage. Ladies and gentlemen, God, what in the hell is happening here? I need 3 monitors to do this next year. I swear to God. Ladies and gentlemen, yeah, it's time, baby. It's time. Volcanic jalapeno. So Drew Hallam, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be doing another shot of moonshine for $4,000. Let's get our multicam on here. What in the why is the Jason and Mindy podcast logo so big? I don't get it. And then it keeps changing it, like, depending on the scene I'm in. It's so weird. Anyway, yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, volcanic jalapeno. We've got Brendan and Nathan from What Were They Thinking coming in about 10 minutes to talk about Reefer Madness. And Dan's giving me the nod that we are all clear on them. And, let's get this guy open here. And I'm going to take a whiff of it, as I normally do. Oh, no, that smells. Oh, I'm going to get I love that they include these little toothpicky thingies in here. They include these the little toothpicker thingies. But they get in the way every time I'm trying to get to my jerky. So I'm going to just pull that right out of there and get it out of the way. So let's pass this around.
I didn't get to do the 2, so this is my first.
You don't have any mic power, Gerald. I got to turn you back up.
I'm not going to tell people how hot this is.
Well, you're not going to chew it into your microphone, Gerald. This is not a mukbang stream. This is not a mukbang stream, Gerald. All right. Let's do a quick sound check all
There's a
around
lot
for
of red
everybody
peppers
here.
in this.
Dan, can you sound check for me?
Check.
Gerald.
Check. Mic check.
Holy shit.
1 2 1 2.
One more time.
1 2 1 2. Check.
One more time.
Check. 1 2 1 2. What is this? Mic check.
One more time.
1 2 3 4. Mic check.
Okay, one more time.
1 2 1 2 3 4.
Okay, perfect. All right.
I am perfect. Thank you for acknowledging that.
Gentlemen, let's hold them up. This is for cancer research, a future immune to cancer. Volcanic jalapeno from Carnivore Candy. Down in the belly, Drew Hallam is going to finish his next shot of moonshine. Cheers, guys.
I think mine's spicier.
Oh, I think he wants me to talk because they're chewing. I get it now. We're going back to the original thing.
No, Drew, I was blaming.
Last time I made him giggle.
Gerald's over here
I David
complaining.
Attenborough'd him.
Gerald's over here complaining. He's like, I can't tell him what it tastes like. And I'm like, Gerald, you're over here chewing jerky. Like, you gotta wait until you swallow it. We'll be right. We'll be done in a second.
What are you pointing at? Something right there.
What he said, there's a plaque right over his shoulder, right over his left shoulder, and that's when I won RA Rookie of the Year in 2007.
I was like, yeah,
I was in college.
Yeah.
So, all right, boys, are we doing another quick round of jerky, or are we waiting for now? Well, okay, so Gerald's not doing more, but me and Dan are definitely doing more.
If there's a small piece, I'll do it. Can you give me a small piece?
Here you go, Junior.
Give me a little pieces. Thank you.
Give me the big dick piece of Gerald.
The piece he gave me, guys.
I see Brendan is waiting.
Good God. I'm a big fan of this one. I'm a big fan of this one, too.
Better or worse than the mango?
All right. Well, I will duck out. I'll see you guys in the next 1,000.
So, all right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh.
Do your thing.
We have Brendan and Nathan on standby. You can see them. They're already waiting. They're chomping at the bit to get in here and talk about Reefer Madness. I bet you they're trying to check in because they're on the Reefer. I bet you that's what it is. Oh. Good God in heaven. I'm also drinking some beer from, where is it from, Gerald? I gotta cue your mic back up here. Where's that beer from, Gerald?
All right, so you're drinking North Carolina local from Durham, North Carolina, Full Steam Brewery. If Ashley's in the chat, she'll know. But it is Rocket Science IPA.
Excellent. It is good. It is very good. Thank you for bringing it. Thank you very, very much. So, yeah, Brendan and Nathan are going to be joining us in just a minute. Suddenly, now, so you guys just saw what I had to do to Jason and Mindy's logo, and then I have to immediately do the opposite thing to Brendan and Nathan's logo. I don't know why that's doing that. It shouldn't do that. It should not do that. And then up next after them, Randy? And now Randy's logo is doing it. Randy, you know better. I don't... Oh, my God. Now all my windows are moving all over the friggin' place. There we go. All right. So that's what we got coming up in the show here. Everybody over in the chat. How's everybody doing in the chat? How are you guys hanging in there? How are you guys doing right now? Are you guys hanging in there? Are you guys excited? Are you guys excited to talk to Brendan and Nathan and hang out with them and see what's going on? Well, these guys are like angrily hitting the button like, let us in.
Not.
They want to get in here and talk about Reefer Madness like something fierce, man. Oh, I don't know why. You know what the curious thing about this is to me? About OBS? Is I set it for a constant bit rate of 4,000 because we were having a little bit of drop frame issues. And this thing is streaming at about 7,000. It's just straight up ignoring what I'm putting in here. So, fine. I'm just going to put it back to variable bitrate then and just let it do its thing. But, yep, see, now these stupid podcast logos are driving me nuts. I'm telling you what, if this keeps doing this, I'm just gonna nix them completely and just get rid of them. I don't even care. Especially Randy's. I'm going to especially delete Randy's logo. This thing. Nobody wants this thing. And this isn't even where it goes.
Definitely delete Randy's.
Is this because he nicknamed you Dan the Mattress Man? How dare you, he says.
No, I don't care about Dan the Mattress Man. It's whatever.
The Shlee says bub. So, all right. So, I'm going to open this up.
Whoa.
Get Brendan and Nathan in here. And...
Holy shit.
Oh. Can you guys, have you guys been able to hear me that whole time?
Technology.
In the
No.
thing? I've had my whereby muted for I don't know how long now.
Sick.
A while.
Alan from Interrupted Tales dropping $10. Can't be mad about that reefer.
Woo! Ooh, there we go.
You know what we can be mad about? You know what you can be mad about, guys, if you host a charity event for cancer every year and you have Brendan and Nathan from What Were They Thinking on the air with you, and they make you watch things like Reefer Madness or like Cartoon All-Stars to the Rescue or like the Kazoo Kid thing. I can't even remember what the hell that was called.
I'm waiting for the negative part of that.
These all sound like really positive things to me.
They do. You know what is positive is having you gentlemen. You guys have been amazing supporters of Livestream for the Cure. Guests for, is this your third year in a row now? You third year back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys are absolutely amazing. So before we get into the Reefer, can you guys? Dan's
late.
eating lasagna. You're welcome. Dan's gonna eat lasagna during the segment because he was in the green room getting these guys ready the whole time.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. Thank you all. Thank you, chat, for telling me that you couldn't hear me that whole time. Chat is on the Reefer, I feel like, as well. Maria HHHXX. Hi, Brendan and Ethan.
What's wrong?
Steve Condrick.
No, he said
Hey,
Maria.
guys. Randy
Oh.
says Dan the Mattress Man. But yeah, tell us if anybody out there is not familiar with your show, with What Were They Thinking, as if they can't tell from the title. We had to explain it to Gerald. We're like, Gerald, the name of their show is What Were They Thinking? Because he's like, why'd they make you watch it?
And then I got it. Yeah.
So tell us what your show is all about. Give us a little taste of what you guys are all about.
Well, we generally a weekly show every Thursday. We talk about bad to questionable movies. Of course, in this is a bit of a different time frame, so we decided to take on a shorter than usual movie. A brisk 65 minutes long is this Reefer Madness.
Tell your children.
Or tell your children, whatever you prefer. Yes. But yeah, we do that, and am I plugging?
No,
Well, I
you guys can plug now. You guys can plug 10
Okay.
times during this. I mean, it's literally it's your segment. You guys.
Well-
if you guys just want to sit here and be like, listen to What Were They Thinking? Listen to What Were They Thinking for the next hour. I'm game. Like I'm completely game for
Subliminal
whatever.
messages.
I'm not
I
game
got
with that.
time.
Not even subliminal, just liminal.
Liminal. No, I mean, what were they thinking? It's everywhere. It's on all the podcatchers. WWTT podcast on social media. Just released an episode today on Silent Hill, which I'm sure will make some people angry and some people agree. So,
Man, I'm excited. I'm excited to give that a listen because I love me some Silent Hill. We talking the movies or the games or both or like everything all together?
I rant about the games, but it's about the movie, the first one.
Oh, I hate the first Silent Hill movies.
Thank you.
Oh, goddamn much.
Thank you.
Oh, it's so
Garbage.
terrible. It's so
Absolute
so terrible.
dumpster fire of a movie.
But speaking of
Still better
dumpster
than
fires
Postal.
of movies, segue level A for me. I also realized, just a brief aside, because everything is piped into my mixer, and my mixer is what the output or what the input is for the microphone in Whereby. When I had Whereby muted, I had everybody muted, like here in the studio. So we were all doing that whole like Pepper segment and everything, and nobody could hear anything we were saying. Everybody was probably just like, "What are they doing? Like they're just gesturing around and hitting jerky to each other."
I mean,
it's an art piece.
Reefer Madness, man.
I think
Yeah.
it was all due to the Reefer. So why this year did you guys choose Reefer Madness? Aside from the fact that you wanted to like make our brains hurt trying to watch the most pixelated thing I have ever watched in my life.
Well, I got the pick for it this year because Brendan and I usually go back and forth with most things. So he had the Kazoo Kid last year, and the year when we first did it, Cartoon All Stars was for me because I think at the time we were getting ready to come up onto legalization here in Canada. So I thought it kind of fitting, and also it's live stream for the Cure. You know, a lot of folks use it for pain medication and whatnot. So I felt that kind of went hand in hand. Plus, it's a classic. If you like making fun of movies, it's the one to go to. It's where
there
you
it
should
is.
start. Yeah, there we go. Yes.
It's a classic.
Lawrence
Classic. Are we just gonna? Okay, Arthur Horrell.
I wish
obviously
we had the whole
talented.
time to watch it because I would just Joel and the bots this thing.
Oh wow, you weren't kidding with the.
I'm just going to put the
pixelation there.
visuals up there. Yeah, this is a version of it that I found on YouTube, so I don't know where you guys
Yeah.
necessarily watched it. But I feel like, listen, in this aspect ratio, in that tiny little box on the screen, I feel like that's probably good. Like, you might actually
Yeah.
be able to tell what the hell is going on.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
I
you don't want to
have
project
the,
that shitter in the theater.
I have a DVD copy of it that I got a few years back in like a bin, and the only reason I picked it up was because it had Mike Nelson from Mystery Science Theater doing basically a riff of it all on his own. So I was like, oh, I can add that to the collection. And lo and behold, it also has the colorized version of it. Now, the one we watched, you're showing here, is black and white, obviously. So you don't get the fun little things that they added. Like anytime anybody would smoke some weed in this movie, in the colorized version, they made the smoke different colors.
Also,
So, like,
this can we all agree that this is like the greatest opening crawl of all time?
oh my
Right?
god,
This puts Star Wars to
marijuana.
shame.
Right off the bat, just the typo
Marijuana.
on marijuana.
No, that's one of the ways it's been known to be spelled.
I mean, not the, I guess, the common spelling of it.
No, not the common one, but that's one of the ways it was known to be spelled.
This movie goes to lengths. There's even a line in this movie where they say that marijuana is worse than heroin.
Yes, that's when they're chucking it all into the giant ovens in Brooklyn, apparently.
1936,
There's a reason why this
guys.
is still
What a time to
classified
be alive.
it's still Title I in the United States, isn't it? Isn't it still
Yes,
classified
it
as
is
one of the worst
still
narcotics?
at a federal level. It's still scheduled
Ridiculous.
as
This
bad
movie
as
is probably
heroin
a
and
big
crack.
reason why.
So
Yeah, this movie really swayed the governors. They were like, well, goddamn it, I guess it's got to be illegal.
well, considering the age on this and the age on them, most of them probably saw it in high school. So
That's right.
like when it was first
Um,
released.
Guys, I just want to warn everybody out there that is thinking of trying marijuana. Just some of the side effects I learned from this opening crawl: dangerous hallucinations, uncontrollable
Violent.
laughter, space expands, time slows down, monstrous extravagances, emotional disturbances, inability to direct thoughts, loss of all power to resist physical emotions, shocking acts of violence leading to incurable insanity. And it's based on actual research.
Does not mention anywhere is that you will absolutely run out of Cheetos.
No.
That's
Those
how
are
you,
19
that's how you know
Cheetos
it's
are-
bullshit.
Cheetos do suck.
Listen, there's a point in this movie. So there's one point in this movie when I turned to Dan and Gerald and I said, "You know what? I don't know what this movie's trying to tell me because it looks like weed is pretty awesome because there's one point where women are literally just ripping dudes' clothes off
Yeah.
and like trying to get with them because they're stoned." And I'm just like, "Do I need to be smoking more weed in this instance? Like, do I need to be giving women more weed so I can like have female relations or something? Like, I don't even know." Like,
She was feeding
Female
the kid. Like
relations.
she was the one giving it to you. So really, what you should do is find women who are going to give you weed, tear their clothes
what it
off,
is.
and have parties with you.
that's what it is. Man, I just
Tell your children.
Tell your children. Guys, this is a very important film. Nathan, who is this gentleman that's speaking here? You said that he was from another program?
No, well, it looks like Willie from Alf. The dad
Actually, it
from
does.
Alf, who Brendan just informed me had a rather drastic downfall later in life involving drugs and sex with homeless men.
ooh.
Which the whole
hoster?
drugs thing, the whole drugs thing makes this a little bit funnier.
Well, it makes my thinking that it's him a little bit funnier, anyways. This is
Yeah,
Dr. Carroll. Dr. What's his name? Dr. J. Carroll?
Yeah, J. Lewis Carroll,
I don't think that's it. John
Oh,
Carroll
okay.
Lynch. I'm pretty sure that's it.
John Carroll Lynch. He's in this and every other movie.
Dr. Alfred Carroll is
Oh
his
my
name.
god.
That is his legitimate name, Dr. Alfred Carroll.
Wait, let me just ask a question though. So
What were they
you guys,
thinking?
was this your well, yeah, obviously, but you guys, was this your first time watching this movie?
Yeah, I have never
Yes.
had the pleasure before.
Wow. Huh.
That's odd because I know a lot of people who like, kind of iffy movies. This is one of the like I said, one of the first ones that you kind of everybody can really get behind making fun of because it's so preposterous.
Oh yeah.
So I think this movie was first put together by a church group, as far as I read, and then it was quickly nabbed up by an exploitation movie producer, who was like, I think I've got another angle to sell this on.
I did like the fact that weed was absolutely a demon in this movie, but booze and chain smoking is perfectly fine.
Smoking cigarettes is perfectly okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Oh, this is
literally
okay.
scenes where
the
they're asking
scraggy
if-
weeds from Brooklyn. I was like, there's some shitty gardeners in Brooklyn because man, those buds are nothing.
not that we know.
Hey, it's our patriotic duty, Brendan, as Canadians.
It's true. I definitely didn't smoke some right
Pure
before
grain
this.
alcohol, actually.
I feel like this, and it's the obvious joke to make here, but I feel like this would be wonderful to watch stoned.
It is.
It is, yes. Confirmed.
Oh my lord!
Nobody I know is. My parents aren't watching this.
I do like that they basically show you how to roll joints in this movie too.
Yeah, right. And how to hide all
Get
your
yourself a
stuff.
Yeah, they're like, put it in the. My favorite is putting it in the center of a book.
Yes, books with fake centers.
Books.
There
with
it is,
fake
right there.
centers,
Yep, right
the
there.
best way to transport weed. Look at that. And
Also, a good way to break out of Shawshank Prison.
that's right. And all that. Yeah. I'm just so distracted by the images. Look at all that cocaine and heroin. It's really bad, guys, but it's not as bad as marijuana.
Right.
It's nothing. It's a joke.
Oh,
I'm gonna eat some more. I'm gonna eat some more of this volcanic jalapeno jerky.
nice. Very nice. Oh, that's what you get when you get the munchies. That's nothing else will do.
God, I
Hostess
would eat
potato
so much
chips.
more of this if I had the munchies. Oh God.
See, when I get the munchies, I tend to just play piano really fast.
And request the Dilbert boss's haircut.
Yeah, and just I was gonna say uncontrollable laughter, but I guess that does kind of check out. Maybe
Oh,
That's great.
maybe not like the movie shows it, but
I feel like
Oh
if you
my
don't,
God,
you're doing
so-
yourself a disservice. You're living half a life, really.
Nathan, what's our main story in this movie?
Well, the main story involves, there's the bad guys, which would be these two right here, who the lady on the bed only sells to adults, and she looks down upon her apparently sleeping in a separate bed husband because he,
1936.
right,
And
he has no
2020.
problem selling to school children.
Right.
And the good guys, which would be the school children that he's selling it to, is so we have Billy and what was her name?
Mary. Because at first
Anyhow,
when they
they're-
said Mary, I thought her name was going to be Mary Jane.
So
I was really hoping.
yes, and he gets he really loves the sweetheart girl from school, but he ends up falling in with these reefer addicts, and hilarity ensues.
Yeah.
Hijinks ensue.
Right.
I love how I love how these are like supposed to be like the drug dealers. Like that's the cleanest drug dealer's house I've ever seen.
Right, and most
not that
most
I've
of them
seen any,
keep
but-
all their stuff in a neatly wrapped cardboard box up in the cupboard.
or a giant briefcase that just has like blocks of weed, I think.
Possibly.
Like at first I thought they were going to sell them a brick of heroin, but it was supposed I think it was supposed to be weed, which was like
Do you guys not buy your weed by the brick?
Well, no, not unless it's in hash.
I buy my weed-
I mean,
I mean I buy my weed at the brick, but usually it comes in a bag.
no, you can buy bricks of hash down at the our cannabis New Brunswick stores.
Man.
What about your cannabis stores in the United States?
Favorite thing about
Gerald,
being
we could be in
Canadian,
Canada
Kelly.
getting stoned right now, and I'm here with you. Fuck.
Wait, it's legal in some states. Are you guys not in the states where it is?
I am not in a state where it is, no.
Oh,
No, you're not, Gerald, because you're in the same state I am. You're 3 feet away from me.
Do you guys live on a border and the border bisects your living room table or something? That's how he could be in a state there it's legal and you're not. So.
He's just sitting across the table from me, just be like, how does it feel, sucker?
You can't come visit me in my state. Travel restrictions.
Oh, man.
make it
Oh,
happen.
terrible. Stop schools from crossing. That's right.
Oh, no.
The funny thing is the way it's kind of jumping around. It looks like we're watching like an old reel just going through a computer somehow.
Is this when he runs over the person?
No, that's later. You got to set up the story first, Gerald, about how they're degenerates who do the reefer and the jazz cigarettes.
Gotcha.
Sell the narrative. You got to work this thing.
I think it's funny that the DVD that I own was distributed by Fox.
Oh my lord!
Funny or apropos?
A little bit of both.
I'd be really curious to watch the colorized version of this.
It's quite good, and they give them some very garish clothes. The fella there, what's his name? Reggie, the one who the older guy who this guy here with the he's talking to the dude in the hat. His hair is like super blonde in the colorized version.
I had a severe case of white person face blindness in this movie. Everyone just looks alike to me.
They really do.
Like I got the brother of like Mary's brother and Mary's boyfriend confused so many times. It was like,
Oh,
what?
me too.
Whoa.
Yep.
Like, okay, so this dude's making out with another girl, whatever. Oh wait, that's the boyfriend. Oh, he's cheating. Oh.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. It's just that they're so crazy with the reefer that maybe it was. You never know. Maybe
It could have been, man.
anything.
They're supposed to be in high school.
Oh,
And they're
you
all
mean how they're
clearly in
32?
their 30s. Yeah, exactly.
Gerald made a similar observation when we were watching it. Yeah, he's like, "No, that woman. I'm pretty sure that woman's 40, but we kind of couldn't tell because we were watching it on my, giant screen TV, which made everything appear like a series of just giant boxes colliding with each other.
The way it's jumping around, it looks like someone's like last images before they die.
Oh, back. This is they're dancing at the cafe.
Oh, the marijuana, the drug dancing here. Yeah.
Yes, because apparently
see,
the
here-
jitterbug. Oh, there's Dilbert's boss.
Well, here's the thing. Here's just like the casual cigarette smoking, and they're like, yeah, there's nothing about that, but like, goddamn, don't smoke weed.
Yeah. I actually thought that the piano player looked like like Dean Stockwell playing a live action version of Dilbert's boss.
Wait, Dean Stockwell. I might have the actors wrong. I was thinking that was Liz Lemon's ex-boyfriend in 30 Rock. Is that who that is?
No, Dean Stockwell. You're thinking that Dean Stockwell was Al from Quantum Leap.
Yeah, never saw.
Really, was that joke just for me?
Yeah,
God,
well,
it's
I
been,
mean,
it's
probably
been so
other
long
people
since
here
I've
have seen
seen
Quantum Leap.
Like, literally forever. And then all I remember about Quantum Leap is just the way that it ends, and then like a title card, and he
it
never
doesn't
made it
end?
home.
Ooh, that made me so mad.
It's literally the end of the whole show. You like watch this whole show like he's on this journey to get home, and then it literally just ends with a single card, and he never made it home. Womp. The end. Goodbye.
It's like a Poochie ending.
It was
really
the
is.
biggest kick in the nuts
I have to go.
television
My
ever
planet
gave
needs
me
me.
as a kid.
Quantum Leap died on the way to his home planet.
Anyhow, Dean Stockwell, who played Al, the assistant or the sidekick on Quantum Leap, I feel he looks like him, but with Dilbert's boss's haircut.
Oh, this is the greatest too.
And-
He's just like smoking weed and getting so excited.
well,
Gonna start them giggles, the uncontrollable giggles.
He's smoking it as if he's found like a delicious chocolate bar.
I also like the fact that the way most people smoke weed in this movie was just absolutely wasteful. None of them inhaled.
No,
They're like,
none of them. Take a big drag of those cigarettes though.
yeah, well, cigarettes you have to inhale deeply so you can enjoy flavor country.
That's
True.
right. Was it were you,
Just kidding.
Guy
Don't
Fieri
smoke,
there?
kids. Do not smoke. No, flavor
Guy
country.
Fieri
Was,
cigarettes. Welcome to Flavor Country.
flavor country was a Marlboro thing.
Oh. Well, they do show us that these kids they couldn't show us more how like hoity-toity all these like quote unquote teenagers are. It's like, oh, let's read Romeo and Juliet. Oh, your
Yeah,
mother
they
saw
gotta
us
make it-
kissing.
Yeah, I love this wonderful diversion to just like read Shakespeare for like 5. It's like 5 minutes of the movie too. It's like a decent chunk of it. Like all of a sudden, I think I went out into the kitchen and I came back. I was like, "What the hell is going on in this movie?"
And this continues the fucking trend of like really, really, really bad movies. I understand this is like, whatever, 1936, but like bad movies that we've done, bringing up existing works that are so much better. It's like, like every movie fucking does it. And I'm like,
Yep.
what are you doing? Like, I don't know if you guys have seen the classic film A Talking Cat, but they reference Humphrey Bogart like a million times.
Sounds like one that Gerald would really love.
I love my cat cinema.
Oh,
Knew it.
Well, it's a classic.
a talking cat. If you have Tubi, watch the Riff Tracks version of it. At least you'll get a bit of enjoyment out of it that way.
Yeah. And you get to hear Eric Roberts recording in like his living room.
Yeah, on his like phone or something. Oh, yeah, that's the whole.
So yeah, after this is where the mom is like a cock blocker, and then
No, she's not even really. She lays back and watches them finish the scene, and they kiss, and that's when she comes out. And then
my question is, was
See?
she gonna stay there and watch the whole thing? Was she waiting for them to keep
well,
going?
no, she stopped after they started kissing. So it's
saying.
funny and not creepy.
Right, not creepy at all that she just stands there and stares like this.
Or that she's possibly the age that girl's grandmother should be if she was legitimately in high school. Hi, I'm Bill, kind of a jerk. Blumph.
Now we're just doing a live audio commentary.
These are some of my notes too, actually, because this is how I take notes for the show. I basically riff tracks the movie and then just use those as my notes.
Yeah. So what happens after this, Nathan?
Just peeling behind the curtain. Patreon exclusive. Oh wait, no, that's not not Patreon exclusive.
Wrong note.
No, it's
Scroll to your
Patreon
next page.
exclusive. Oh,
Next segment.
I love this kid.
Well,
the
I mean,
best
yeah.
actor.
I got the
Easily.
bratty little brother is just an absolute shit kid. Just the worst.
Oh yeah, Shit Kid started years and years ago. Might be the origin story right here. Weed apparently also apparently. Well, I mean, I'm skipping ahead, but like I can't just I'm not gonna just commentary this thing. But weed
No,
apparently
skip ahead.
weed apparently turns you into a rapist if you were already
Yes.
a rapist. Yeah, because
A stoned rapist.
I feel
Yeah.
it's so funny because this movie puts forth that you would do all these things, and no one's ever been that motivated on weed.
no, yeah, exactly. It implies a lot of motivation to have the wherewithal to put someone in that situation, or playing amazing piano or dancing. It's like, you know what, the last thing I want to do when I'm stoned? Dance.
Well, it depends on the strain. I mean, Canada.
I mean, when I'm doing cocaine, yes, obviously, but
Are you guys going to talk
I don't know.
about the musical with Nev Campbell, Kristen Bell, Alan Cumming? Is that a thing?
I did not know. I've never seen that.
It's got to
I've
be
heard of
associated
that.
with it, right?
Well, yes, it would
I've
obviously
heard-
they would have based it off of this, but it's probably more of obviously a send up, kind of like anybody else who's watched this movie ever.
Really
think
makes
it's
me want to
almost
see a
a
musical
recreation.
version of this.
I think it's almost a recreation of it, but like Nathan said, like a satirical thing. I think I've seen the trailer before, so it's
I'm gonna have to hunt this out.
yeah. I think it's and I think it's longer than this too somehow. I don't know how they stretch this one out. It's pretty basic.
I really
plot.
did. I liked when they went. It was supposed to be the FBI, but they didn't have the acronym for it yet, and it was the FOBOY,
Oh, it was just, what was it? It was just like the
Federal
Office.
Office of the Bureau of Investigation.
Yeah. I thought they just put that because they didn't want to put the actual FBI, so they had to pay or get in trouble or something.
Well, it could very well be, but I know that the FBI didn't start until sometime in the 30s or 40s, I believe. I'm not super up on my.
Because of this
FBI
movie,
history.
I believe.
I did.
believe
I
this movie created the FBI.
This
J.
movie- yes,
Edgar
this movie.
Hoover. J. Edgar Hoover watched this movie. It was his favorite film. And he said something needs to be done about those damn kids.
see. I always thought it was Glenn or Glenda that was his favorite movie.
Also, I gotta find that Lindbergh kid. Where's he at?
Oh,
I hope Leo DiCaprio plays me in a movie one day.
there's a really funny a bit during the FBI investigation, or just the exchange with the doctor, where they're talking about how some girl, I think it was, went crazy on marijuana and axe murdered her entire family.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wrote that down too. Like that's insane.
I was like, all right. And it really felt at one point when Dr. Carroll, because he shows up again later in the movie to talk to one of the boys who's fallen in with these, the Reefer gang. It almost comes across like he's hitting on him.
Oh, when he's trying to like recruit him.
No, like he's like, it's where he's talking. Well, he said, I need to talk to you about, and about your grades or something like that. And the kid's like, well, I think, I've been kind of distracted lately, so that must be it. I'll buckle down. The doctor's like, no, I don't think that's what it is. I'm like, And then he's like, I need to ask you some personal things. You've gotten involved with some interesting individuals recently. And I'm just like, is he hitting on him? Like, does he want to know who his weed dealer is or something?
You could sit closer if you want, Timmy. It's fine.
Yeah.
I think this is also on screen right now. This is the scene where they run out of cigarettes, and the way they run out of weed rather, and the way they handle it is if it's
Reefers.
almost
They
as
run
if,
out of
like,
reefers.
Reefers, but it's almost as if like they just like ran out of butter or something, because then they're like, well, better go to the store.
Yep. Well, he has to head down to the nicely appointed, drug dealer's business building.
Right, with the greatest hit and run of all time.
That old guy hits the pavement. Oh my god! It's like, ah.
When they said later that he died, though, I was like, what?
No, he didn't. He didn't, because he said that they said the girl asked if the guy died, and one of the guys was like, no, but that's not the point. It's really no excuse for driving recklessly like that.
No, but later in the movie, when the dude gets pulled aside in the cafe, he tells him that the guy did die in the hospital. They said.
I thought he was just doing that to get the kid all wound up.
Oh, I thought he told me he died. Either way, he didn't connect with the car, so I don't know why anything happened.
Yes. See, you look cool, and that plaid. There you go. Yeah. That's a lady. Put a ring on that.
Yeah, look at that joint smoking. I also look at him just puffing everything back out.
Purple.
His
was like a reddish, if I remember correctly.
I love all the laughter in this movie, just kills me. Now, I mean, obviously I can't tell, but it's in black because it's in black and white. But did they have like clove cigarettes representing weed?
I don't possibly. I mean, more than likely. But I mean, with it being black and white, they could just be regular cigarettes. They just tore the filters off or something.
I just think that's irresponsible to present that kind of misinformation in a movie like this.
I love what such a professional business like layout this guy's got, and he's just like the local supplier.
It just looks like he has like an accountant's office.
Yeah, crunching the numbers.
Is that what he for these days? No, Jimmy, just doing the day's work.
All right, and guys, I wanted to shout out a few donations that have come in here on the stream. We are now at $4,100, ladies and gentlemen. 41% of the way toward our goal. We had Jared Taylor dropping in $30. Tom E. Thompson, who is coming up next right after these guys with the Miserable Retail Slave. And then Heidi Kraus, sometime earlier, this is a donation over on the main fundraising site that we have at the Cancer Research Institute, also donated $25. So thank you all so much for your amazing donation. Thank you.
Should give him the NPR like we do for the low haikus, Brendan.
I can't snap.
You can't snap, right? Sorry, I forgot.
I just clap.
Guys, only $900 more till we make Drew drink more moonshine. Just putting that out there.
Yay!
That's motivation right there. Get Drew drunk. Get Drew drunk.
So just to let everyone know what happens here, the young teenage lovers who were once so clean cut end up falling afoul of these drug dealers. Billy ends up in a struggle with the gun with the guy with the hat who's like the main drug dealer. They struggle, and she gets killed. Billy goes on trial for her murder, but then the girl that he cheated with comes forward and confesses even agreeing to go to jail for the maximum amount of time. She just needed to get it off her chest. She confesses. They find Billy innocent, and she jumps out a window. And the guy with the guy who turns out to be a rapist because he's on weed ends up going to an insane asylum for the rest of his life. Makes perfect sense. Tell your children.
I'm sorry.
Oh man.
When she jumps out the window, was that not the single greatest moment on film?
For the longest time, yes.
I mean, man.
This is where he only hits the guy.
There it is. And see you later.
Glad we were able to fit that in.
He didn't even remotely
Lethal.
slow down.
No.
No. I was belting around that corner.
Oh, this is where I wish I did a lot of drugs so I could really just get like stoned out of my mind to watch that specific scene. Damn it.
They do say at one point after this, because I have written down that they said something about like, well, what are we going to do about the weed or the marijuana problem? It's like, well, widespread campaigning and education. I'm like, yeah, good luck with that, guys.
Well, it wasn't that wasn't good enough for Dr. Carroll. He was like, no, we need to bust some heads, essentially.
Yeah, we need to kill an entire family with an axe. Oh wait, that was that girl.
But it's funny because the guy who was like heading up their drug task force or whatever was like, no, we need to educate people. Let's not waste our resources on just arresting people. We should really put forward a strict education campaign. The guy's like, no, not enough. And he's an educator.
I feel like the Reagans watched this film, took notes.
Daily.
At least Nancy.
Like it was
What'd
like
you say,
weekly
Billy?
Sunday afternoon viewing in their house.
Oh, I thought you said Billy, like Billy Reagan. I'm like, who the fuck is that?
The third cousin.
Ladies and gentlemen, JR checking in with a $15 donation. What they're trying to do right now in the chat, they're trying to get the donation goal. They're trying to get us to $4,200 by the end of the segment, so that way it can be $420. You know.
Nice. Okay, I very appreciate it.
So get to work, chat. You get $85 in about 25 minutes.
Oh man. So okay, so we went over weed turns you into a rapist, got it. Turns you into a great piano player, got it. I believe it also turns you into a guy who is adept at framing people for murder.
Why wouldn't you want to smoke?
Well,
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if I'm on board for all those things, but like, I want to frame someone for a murder.
I think, but even if you don't want to, what goes hand in hand with that is obviously it increases your just overall cunning.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
I mean, I'm just saying that is a positive.
Who doesn't? I mean, really, there's enough murders that I want to commit that I'm willing to entertain the idea of getting stoned enough to frame someone.
Right?
Is that just me? Have I admitted too much? Should I turn my mic down? I'm just gonna.
Just they're gonna look at this as evidence one day. He had no intention of ever murdering anyone.
This here is this is the axe murdering girl from Michigan.
Oh yeah. I wrote down too, like, shouldn't this whole thing feels like more about how the mafia is bad rather than drugs? Like the actual enterprise is a worse problem.
Well, there's that. There's the whole failure to address addiction and addictive personalities as well.
Yeah, it's just evil, and that's all you need to know.
Because I mean, what happens with the respectable folks that the girl sells to at the first of the movie? We never see from or hear from them again. You know why? Because they went home, smoked a joint, watched I Love Lucy, and got up and went to work the next day like everybody else.
That I feel like is the best part of like that opening crawl when we talked about the opening crawl. It's like they went through it, like somebody wrote a first draft of it, and then somebody went through and they were like, more bad adjectives, like more bad words that you could use to describe it. Like it's at one point, I think it's described as an evil scourge. I'm like,
Yes.
I feel like this whole movie is a bad first draft.
fair point, extremely fair point.
Oh, so I want to talk about one of my favorite parts of this movie, and I know we're not up to there yet in the video, but fuck it. It's when they go to court because after the whole murder framing thing, and they take him to court. And you go to the jurors' room, and there's that one juror that's like, "I think he's innocent." I'm like, "Is this about to turn into 12 Angry Men?" But
Well, now if they
unfortunately,
got the Reefer Madness, it'd be 12 Hungry Men.
Hey.
Can someone
Guys, they got
make
the
a
munchies,
supercut
right?
with that? Like somebody just like all of a sudden when they deliberate in the jury room, like it just hard cut over, watch all of 12 Angry Men, and then come back for the conclusion of this.
You know what?
Fucking
12 Angry Men doesn't have those that subtle swinging noose imagery.
That's true.
So subtle that they just cut to it.
They just replace the swinging, dangling light string with an actual noose, and then
So close.
flip.
I just like the idea of cutting to 12 Angry Men and making this movie like 2.5 hours long. Just because of that.
That was the scene right there where I thought that he was hitting on the kid. She really fills out a tennis sweater. Let me tell you, when you watch the remastered colored version, mwah. I know that she's supposed to be in high school, but she's clearly in her 30s, so it's okay.
Oh
Yeah.
my lord! I love
Oh,
it
here's
so
that
much.
awesome party because apparently weed helps you throw
Like I
amazing
said,
parties.
this is when I'm watching this movie. I'm just like, I want to be stoned all the time if this is what it's like. I mean, you're just throwing fucking awesome jazz parties. Women are just ripping your clothes off left and right. Like you're apparently awesome at framing people for things. Like, good.
in the colorized version too, the girl that Billy cheats with, they make her a redhead, so even better.
I think too, not coming up, but like after the trial, the dude who frames him, wasn't his name like Ralph or something?
I think it's like Ralph or Reggie or something like that. It's an R
Gerald,
name.
probably. I think it's Gerald.
He like
It's
What'd you say?
Gerald.
It's
It
Gerald?
wasn't even close.
Way off.
Oh, Gerald.
When that Ralph dude is going through like he's basically going through heroin withdrawal.
Yeah, you got
when he
like the
can't get
DTs from
Yeah, he's
not smoking the reefer.
Freaking out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all like jittery and shit. I thought that was interesting. Good research, as they said at the top of the film.
It's and actually in that scene when he's getting all jittery and stuff, he tells one of the girls to give me more reefers, and she brings him a smoke, and he starts smoking it, and then the girl that Billy cheats with right here, she's there playing piano, and he says, "Here, have a smoke." And he pulls a cigarette out of his jacket. I'm like, he had one the whole time. Why did he make her go get more?
Are you saying there's some continuity issues in this film?
Just a few. It's not so much continuity; it's just logic. I mean, but it's just that one spot, really.
And of course, that's the famous play faster scene as he's
Yes.
freaking the fuck out.
Yeah, that's why everyone who gets stoned listens to Grateful Dead and Bob Marley.
I think
Faster.
I think it was Dan who pointed out earlier that he's still playing the piano perfectly, even though she's like practically mounting him right at the piano.
That's a keeper. That's what you call a keeper.
It's really they swing by to hassle the Billy's girlfriend because her brother borrowed her car. Yes, because it was the brother who nearly killed the guy.
The
but it
old guy
was
that
Billy.
barely connected with the car?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, which, like Brendan said, made for some confusing watching because everybody in this movie's so white meat. You confuse the brother and the boyfriend constantly.
So many times.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like
like,
doubly
that was-
worse for us because not only is that the case, but then, like I said, when we watched it here, I mean, it was literally just like blocks of pixels smashing into each other all the time.
That would make it much
Like,
worse.
literally, like you couldn't even tell male from female in half of the scenes. I dare anybody to try. I dare anybody to watch this on my TV and tell me what on earth happens in any part of this movie.
The only thing that helped me with this one, this time around, was that they colorized different clothes on Billy and the brothers. So I was like, I could tell them apart that way. But in black and white, I can see mixing them up constantly.
Oh shit! This is the bartender that is way too trusting of everyone.
Well, he's like the cafe owner. I don't think it's a bar, is it?
Well, he's like, yeah, whatever. But he's very much like, I think in this scene she's trying to figure out the drug house address, and he's like, oh, I don't know. Well, okay, here it is.
I thought he was like the hookup. He was just like, you seem cool. Here you go see her. She'll set you right up.
And isn't this like where she accidentally smokes reefer because he hands her something and she thinks it's a cigarette, and then she's like, oh yes, a cigarette, delicious. I'll take one.
Which would happen never.
Yeah. No, you can't tell the difference. They're basically
no.
identical.
I mean, one is hand rolled. One has like a factory made filter, and one tastes like ass, and one is fantastic.
Yeah, I didn't know you were a smoker, Nathan.
You know it, me and Tara Reid.
Oh my lord!
Oh shit, Tara Reid made an appearance. Couldn't call that one.
What else?
I'm just saying, it's a safer alternative.
Tara Reid by way of Harvey Firestein.
Oh man, can I see that autobiography, like that autobiographical film with Harvey Firestein as Tara Reid? Please.
I'm also kind of curious to see the Tara Reid as Harvey Firestein biopic.
Slightly less curious for that one, but I'm still here for it. I'm still definitely here for it.
I'd love to see Tara Reid in full Harvey Firestein costume telling John Lovitz to be nice. Oh, speaking of John Lovitz, there's a guy in the jury who looks an awful lot like him.
Who does? What was that?
Yep, looked like John Lovitz, John Aston, and I think I had another one that there was another lookalike in there.
Look at how insatiable and lusty she is. She's about to go crazy for some D.
Yes.
Oh,
She just had some reefer.
she's just had the best sex of her life that we saw, and we know that because we saw them hug.
That's true.
Well, see, I don't know. I don't know. He looks pretty disappointed. She's passed out, and like he clearly still wants
feeling it. Like,
something.
she's still-
So either he was way too quick or couldn't do it at all.
I don't think he could. Yeah, he couldn't perform. He was too busy thinking about Mary, who's unknowingly getting stoned here with old Mr. Rapist here.
I think they referred to that as marijuana cock. I think that's what that's called. Justin would know.
Cock.
Justin, where's Justin? Justin would know.
Dead.
What?
I think Dan said dead.
He's dead.
Oh, okay, fair enough. He probably smoked a bunch of that reef.
He made Loisos mad enough, and Loisos just rage quit on him and destroyed him. Blinked him out of existence with his magical beard powers.
Just Thanos him right out of there. This also, like, I think later on when we get to there's another bit I wanted to mention when it gets to the point where not Mary, but oh my god, this is vicious. I'm trying to like not pay attention to this at the same time.
It's a very interesting counseling session.
When this Blanche
he's
girl,
therapist, right?
well, how else can you pronounce that, Nathan?
Therapist.
Okay.
That's what
I
all
was
my
thinking of-
therapy sessions do.
Celebrity Jeopardy. I got it.
Right.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
I'll take the rapist for 200.
I got your inference.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, so that girl that he like cheats on his girlfriend with, when she goes to the meeting with all the like lawyers and everything, and she's like, "Listen, I can tell you the whole story," but clearly she's looking for like some sort of immunity. But
No,
then
her
before
lawyer says that first.
yeah, but
and
then
the
before
judge is
they
like,
agree to
"No."
any deal, before they like negotiate at all, she just blurts everything out.
Yeah.
Oh my
Like, girl, like make a second attempt at that.
Oh, here we go. The fight. Yeah.
The punch, that glorious stage punch.
And this-
Oh
Gonna
shit, guys,
pistol whip him.
Can you even play this on the air? Like, this is pretty brutal.
Yeah, ooh.
And it also contains one of the most magic bullets ever. Because the gun goes off like right about here. Everyone
Yeah, all
thinks, did she get shot? No, the girl who's laying flat down apparently got shot dead center of the back.
Yeah. I think this is what inspired Oliver Stone to make his movie. In the early 90s.
Man. Please,
Like, that's a
Twitch,
good
please
theory,
don't ban
for
us. It's
real,
the violent
like.
part's over. Please, don't ban us. Who are you kidding? Some channel on Twitch somewhere right now is airing this movie 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I guarantee it. So there's a Twitch channel just dedicated to nothing but this movie.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This is this would definitely be a hard R today.
Be a hard
That person
something.
is doing the Lord's work. Tell your children.
Tell your children. I love the address at the end too, where it goes back, because the whole thing is framed by the dad from Alf, talking to the group of people, right? And where he says, like, it could be your children or yours or yours or yours.
Mm-hmm.
The dramatic sting and the credits come up. It's beautiful.
I mean,
you
you guys
saying
think
that this could affect me?
your children?
You.
It's funny because that has been referenced several times in like millions of different sitcoms whenever they do industrial films or educational films. Oftentimes the tropes that they're using from it, yes, that exactly are from, they started out with stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys think anybody
so
that
you're
was?
saying- oh, sorry.
Do you think anybody that was
Sorry, go ahead.
smoking weed in 1936 saw this would stop?
No,
Like, would it make them stop?
especially considering the trouble they were going to get it.
Right.
I think. Well, yeah. Can you imagine the trouble? I mean, I imagine it's hard to get it in the States in 2020. I can't imagine what it was like in 1936.
But actually, no, they make a point in this movie to say it grows natively in all 50 states in the Union.
That's right.
Yeah. It's, I
During
mean,
every
I don't
any,
understand
any
what the problem
single
is.
season.
This
add
literally
water.
makes weed look awesome. Like, I don't smoke weed, and like after watching this movie, I'm like, I gotta give it a try. Like, I mean, everything's gonna go my way. Sure, I might shoot somebody, but whatever.
Well, no, at worst, a gun will go off in a struggle you are having.
That's true. That's true. That makes
that's
it more
all-
like a gunfight in a Cannon movie, which I'm very familiar with.
Nick, all you got to do is lock the whole house down, like as if like in the fucking Howling, like if you're gonna turn into you're gonna turn into a werewolf basically. So just chain yourself up, take a huge bong hit, and
Get myself a vault, like lock myself in like a safe room or something.
Yeah.
Oh
A
my
werewolf.
god.
The other thing I was going to mention is cinematically. So this was 1936, guys. 1930, like 2 years later, Wizard of Oz came out. So I mean, what happened in like 2 to 3 years?
Wait, I don't know what you mean. What are you trying to say?
Well, they still had a poor opinion of marijuana, but acid was apparently okay because you've seen Wizard of Oz.
Right.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, and then 50 years after that other Oz movie came out with like Diana Ross. What the fuck was that?
Things really got weird.
What about The Wiz?
Yeah.
Yeah, The Wiz.
Maybe it was 40
yeah.
years later. I don't know.
Do you know where
Michael
Brandon
Jackson
is?
and Nell Carter.
It's like
Oh,
4
there it is.
hours
There's a
long.
piece of shit.
What?
It's super long.
Oh my! Some of the one of the headlines, they have a side story
there
of
he
Dick
is.
Tracy and G-Man in Big
Aaron
Raid.
Lee.
I'm like, so they are admitting that this is all fiction, and all of this is all made up.
Wow, I did not notice that.
What's that?
That's a little. I did not notice that. They must have known that they were gonna have a DVD with Easter
Real
eggs.
piece of shit.
I just happened to
Tom,
notice
can
it
you
in one of
talk
the
about I'm just trying to
because
not interrupt
I
this
wanted to
current
see what some of the
segment.
other stories that they were putting in these fake papers, and one of them was Dick
Yeah.
Tracy and G-Man in Spectacular Raid.
Oh, okay.
Have
that's
you
fine.
guys ever
Just
like?
wanna
Have
make
you guys
sure
ever watched
you're
like you're
loud
watching a
enough
movie
that
and you
you
just
don't
pause
turn
it
up
on like
or
one of those newspaper headlines and try to read what the actual article says?
Sometimes,
Yes.
yeah.
No, but
Okay,
I
have
should.
you ever? Because I did that for a couple movies, and it was like
Oh,
the
yeah, I
same
expect
sentence like
your full
18
statement
times.
for
It's always
5
great, like, and those are the movies that
And
you
Randy
really
just
love
tackling
because
you.
they take the attention, they work on the attention to detail to make everything like it. Like you have actual people on the production write articles for the
Cancer
newspapers, but
Research
then yeah, you run into
Institute
those
actually
other ones,
lost
or they just take like an
$10,000.
actual newspaper and they replace the headline with something for the movie, and then it's like the headline is like I don't know, rapist murders
yeah,
5
like we
people
know
or
your
something,
segment
and then the
starts at
article
7,
is about
everyone
like
knows.
I don't know, a gas leak somewhere or something.
They just changed the headline.
It's like the weirdest thing, yeah.
More interesting, one of the related stories would be murderer rapes 7 people.
It's clearly like just like a classified for like a used vacuum cleaner.
Exactly. That's all I was trying to do. Was just I was trying to do what they did in the opening crawl of this movie, just combine a whole bunch of really bad words into my head,
Yeah.
like, cram them all out there at once, so you guys
Oh
understood
yeah,
the
you want a Criterion
seriousness
Blu-ray
of the situation.
Marriage Story. Which,
I don't know, man.
Well, that
You keep putting stuff like that together. You could have a job working on SVU. Just saying. Just saying.
That's how you write a script in Hollywood. Is you
Yeah.
just put stuff together. Why am I attacking all of Hollywood?
Because you saw this movie too. Clearly, all of Hollywood is to blame.
Yeah, all
so
of
this
Hollywood
is-
is to blame for this 1936 film.
Yeah, this is where they got the witnesses stuffed away in another apartment.
Right, and he's having the heroin, the DTs or whatever, as you say.
You
Yeah,
didn't
he
need
gets
subtitles
the
to know what he said.
he gets a severe case of George C. Scott. Shut up! Shut up!
Oh shit, we talked about George C. Scott last year. See, it's all coming together, Nick. It's all coming.
Is that what
together.
it is? It tied it in a neat bow. Like
Well,
wrapping
it
up
was the year
perfectly?
before. George C. Scott was the.
Oh,
was
year
the-
before that, right?
Yeah, he was the smoke monster, wasn't
Yeah, he's a Smoke Monster cartoon all stars.
he? Yeah.
That's true. That's true. See, I mean, we couldn't like last year. Last year, you guys actually got the Kazoo Kid on the air. I feel like you guys maybe picked this movie because you didn't want to have to track down any of the living members of this to try to get them on the air for this. Because if they're still alive,
You assume they're a living member.
yeah, that's like I said. Yeah,
Well, you could get the little kid who was Billy's brother.
that's true.
It's bullshit. This whole thing, this production, bullshit.
I just like the idea of spending the first 45 minutes of the live stream trying to get this fucking webcam working.
Is this the thing? I know Russians aren't gonna get my social security, are they?
We're suddenly this
Yeah.
is suddenly all of a sudden right back around to undercover grandpa all over again. Oh my god in heaven. Well, gentlemen, we got to
Undercover
chase you out of
grandpa.
here,
Jesus Christ.
unfortunately. But
don't get it.
before
Movies-
again, I want you guys
it's not
to
worth
plug away. Let us know, where we can find your show out there on the web, how people can tune in, and why they should watch the rest of this absolute masterpiece of cinema that you forced upon us.
Well, I think you just answered that question. It is an absolute masterpiece,
Fair.
and it only gets better as you go on. It starts a little slow, and then it just gets to dizzying heights.
Little.
Like a weed addiction, it just keeps going until you're dead.
Yeah,
Faster
exactly.
and faster and faster and more out of control.
From murder of the. So yeah, you can find us again. You can find us on all the podcatchers. Just search for where we are. What were they thinking? Podcast about bad to questionable movies as Exhibit A right here. But yeah, we're all over the place. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at WWTT Podcast. We're on Facebook. We're on Patreon. All that good stuff. Check us out. We just, like I said, we just dropped an episode on Silent Hill, so check that out now.
Real deuce.
In 3 years, guys. 3
The
years
movie,
of,
not the episode.
Right.
of amazing support of Livestream for the Cure. I can't thank you guys enough for your continued support year after year. I love having you guys. No matter what it is, it's always a fun discussion, and it's always the most insane thing I will have had to watch for that year's event. Like, I thought Basic Instinct 2 was bad last year, and then I watched the Kazoo video, and I was just like, no. It's
Now, if he
always
was
a pleasure.
in Basic Instinct too.
I could
Showgirls
then-
too. You should watch that.
That
as
would have been
well.
really
Yeah.
weird. Oh God, Ugh, my lord! But gentlemen, I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. You
Thanks
guys
for
are
having us.
amazing. We got Randy and Tommy. We got the Miserable Retail Slave coming up in just a couple of moments, guys. We are going to go ahead over in the chat. I've got some EFG swag, so I've got some stickers and some magnets. I want to go ahead and get a hashtag WWTT over in the chat, WWTT.
Oh,
and we
no.
will say goodbye to Brendan and Nathan. Thank you guys so much for being here. You guys are amazing.
Bye, everyone.
No pass.
You guys.
Hashtag WWTT if you guys want a chance at winning some EFG swag.
Oh, actually, I'll just do it. I'll just have him turn on my mic.
Let's see. So we've got Gerald in. Gerald, you're not getting any prizes.
I'm just gonna take him with me.
This fucker.
Pretty sure Gerald came here just to mug me, guys. Pretty sure he did. Pretty sure he did. But, yeah, let me jump over into here. We've got, again, the Miserable Retail Slave is coming up in just a couple of moments. That would help if I had my camera on. There we go, Nick. I'm learning how to internet today. La 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 la. Hashtag WWGTT. Thank you so much, Brendan and Nathan. You guys are awesome. I love having them every single year because every single year it's the most absurd thing I have to watch. Like that cartoon All Stars. I still think about that at random times. Just like drugged out, whacked out cartoon characters from the 80s and 90s all together doing all sorts of nonsense.
Yeah,
It's literal insanity, guys. If you guys have never ever seen it. I love your face, Heather.
Adam Sandler's trying.
Thank you
too
so
hard.
much for all of your hard work
Just
over there in the
way
chat.
too
Heather
hard.
and all of our mods. Thank you guys so much. You're absolutely amazing. But Heather, I adore you most of all.